No. So I mean, I think so. They started scrapping everything and restarting. How long after the standalone released?
Because
what was the engine they were using on standalone that Dean Hall was wearing? Because it was very fresh when it came out. It like looked quite a bit different. I mean, not crazy different, but it had quite a bit.
They were using a branch of the Take on Helicopters engine because at the time in December 2013, Arma 3 wasn't finished yet. The Arma 3 engine was still a work in progress, so that was not available for them to use. They couldn't even use Arma 3's version. So they used Take on Helicopters engine. Roughly for about 6 months after DayZ's first launch into 2014, so like up to about summer 2014, they were still working on like hammering in updates for what was there, and they started trying to figure out what parts they were going to replace. I think it was early 2015 when they said, yeah, we're going to just build a completely new engine.
So pretty much from now on, anything else that's getting implemented, it's not going to have to be rewritten again, right?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yep. I guess theoretically.
Yeah.
I guess if they do it right now, whatever's they're adding in now, hopefully just stays. I guess it's just more depressing because it's like, you just go like, it just feels like everything that comes out is like, well, that has to get scrapped and tossed away again. It's like, oh man, like I seriously wish they just had like a 10-man team that was just working on an old version of it and they just stuck on that. No matter even if they're tossing it away. But it's like, holy crap. It just feels like every bit of news is like, oh, sweet. So we were hoping in the next 2.5 years, we're going to get guns working again. You're like, what?
Yeah, if you read the dev blogs, a lot of the team's been working on stuff for beta, basically. That's when all of these modules are going to come together in the new language is for the beta version. So, like, I'm not even going to play till that's out. Like, why would I play old systems that are like, they're not even using them internally anymore. They're not working on them. They're not updating them. Like, why would I keep playing
and I think that's kind of a bad thing because it's like if you have a game out there, it's one thing if they pulled it and it's like you can't play it, but if there's a game out there, you're letting people play a terrible version of the game, not even a working version of the game that has bugs. You're playing a terrible version that the developers are like, oh, we don't like it. It's like like at least,
it hurts you.
I know, it's like
everything.
at least maybe tweak it a
hurts
bit,
your soul,
even if it's
hurts
hacky.
your customers.
Yeah, I've actually played now 6 hours of the old DayZ. I got it working, Jeremiah, and I've had a blast, Dave. I found a tent. I made a campsite.
Is anyone else playing? Like, have you seen anybody?
No.
Or?
Oh yeah, I saw like 3 or 4 people in the towns. They were really friendly. We swapped weapons.
They're like, hey, we're just so glad someone else is here.
No, there's about 5 servers that I found that played straight vanilla. There's about probably 40 other servers that have a couple other things I didn't really check, but I just got into I just wanted to play the normal one. But the one I was in, they had like train crashes, and every once in a while on the map, it will they say like a helicopter crash, and I went to go visit it, and there was tons of loot, like weapons and tons of crap. And so I just popped into the regular DayZ, and I was like, I couldn't find anything. I was running around everywhere. I couldn't find anything. So I'm like, is there not even a hacky way to go, okay, just add some loot, guys, just to keep it, the people who are, really dedicated playing. But I forgot how much fun the original game is. It's a blast. The zombies are actually really scary because, they don't come through walls. They're freaking hard to hit, and they jump around like crickets, but it's super fun. I was like, Dave, I've been saving you weapons in case you join me.
Don't you tempt me.
I'm trying to tempt you.
It's funny, the thing that killed DayZ in the end, the hacking, is now solved literally just from apathy.
Yeah,
it's like there's no one left to care. The hackers are like, DayZ, like I want attention. Like, I'm here to hack like Overwatch or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're like, there's no one playing. So, but yeah, if you get a chance, Dave, just join with me for a little bit. I was actually having a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I actually died from laughter because I hit a zombie with an axe and I totally forgot. It goes, and I went, oh shit, I'm getting shot at.
How fast did you swing that axe?
Yeah. Lightning speed. No, it was funny. I just playing even by myself. I was like, the act of moving somewhere felt worthwhile because I felt like the game was actually stable enough. The whole server like stayed fine. I still have my stuff after a couple days in the same areas. So like just knowing you have a bit of security, knowing that whatever you do in the game is going to count for longer than I feel like a day, you know, because I just don't trust the main game that anything I get is something's gonna break or I'm just gonna discover such a horrible bug. Where at least I know the crappy bugs of the old game, that they're just it's wonky and garbage, but at least I'm gonna still have the gameplay that I can expect. And it's fun. Like everywhere I go, it's like tons of zombies.
The wonk you're comfortable with.
Yeah. I just had a blast going into barns and shooting like tons of zombies are after me. I had a crossbow. I was shooting them all, collecting the crossbow bolts. I forgot that it still worked. I still remembered if you shot him, you have to shoot him on the left or right side of the body so you can collect the bolts.
No,
so
there were no ragdolls. It was just like a canned animation.
Yeah,
They're just like, I sleep now.
It was funny. It was weird how it came back. I was like, man, this is good memories of playing this game. So I'd be down for dabbling with you. Dabbling in the DayZ arts.
For dabbling?
For dabbling.
Down for dabbling.
Oh man, Joel, Jesse just dropped the most amazing Joelism. Like, it was actually, I think, a next level Joelism.
Oh, really?
I think that's beyond your capabilities, my good sir. She meant to say that sometimes the quirks of her students rub off on her, but she couldn't think of the words, so she says, sometimes my students' twerks just rub off on me. And I was like, that is not the word you're looking for. It's like that's something very different.
Oh, that's funny.
Good times. Yeah, talking with Joel a bit this week about classic DayZ. I think that's what I'm waiting for standalone, and what I haven't found in any other game really past the DayZ mod is a real sense of purpose. Because Joel found a video. It was like my third night playing the mod in 2012. Where I was just like playing on my own. Like, commentary is terrible because I'm literally so immersed. I'm just like whispering and like talking out loud, and it's like just long periods of silence and terrible commentary. But it's the end of an episode, and all I've done is like loot a single town, like a couple of buildings, and the sun's going down, and I'm standing on the edge of a town, not being familiar with Arma 2's map at the time. I'd only played like a little bit of the campaign. I'm looking at these two forests with a field in between, and I'm like, okay, where am I gonna go set up camp for the night? Like, I'm thinking out loud and talking about where I'm going to go, set up my tents, and hide my loot for the night. I'm like, that's what it was. That's what H1Z1 hasn't given me or anything else. I'm not talking about, like, okay, well, I just hit up this military district. I have this tier loot, and now I'm going to go stash it over here for the squad to meet up, do some squad PvP. Like, no. I'm a survivor with some loot I just found. I'm a little bit lost. The sun is setting. And I'm treating this like I'm actually going to be setting up a camp somewhere. Like, it feels so real to me. Like, I can just go out in the woods, this huge, huge forest, and pick my own place to set up a camp. I'm like, that level of just automatic immersion, where, like, I'm just thinking about it like I would in real life. That's amazing that glitchy mod could pull that off. And, like, in the corner, you have, like, all the text going by, because it was before they, like, hit all that text. And it was, like, so distracting, but... You can just tell, like, the way that I'm playing, it's like, I don't even have to pretend or, like, get into my immersion mode. I'm literally there in a field deciding where I'm going to survive. Like, I'm playing The Walking Dead. And nothing else has come close to that.
That reminded me of, I meant to put it down the last time I was on the podcast, but I have a comment from a YouTube video I found of, like, one of the first ones, like, I've seen, or, like, right when DayZ mod first came, like, you know, came out of nowhere. Really, really cool comment someone posted on there, and I was like, ooh, that's... Oh, I was right about to say that tickles my tail feathers, but that's not the right... That tickles my fancy... Whatever.
Tickles your fancy.
Tickles my tail feathers, yes!
Add
Shane,
to the list, Joel.
please add that to the list.
I'm adding it.
Tickles my tail feathers. That's pretty good. I think it's a nice innocent one, you know? Like...
Yeah.
But it can lead to things that aren't innocent at all, it sounds like.
Just a little tail feather tickling.
Nope.
Just a little, just a little tail feather tickling.
That's where it begins.
Okay, it's added.
Joel, I stole our Gwent bag from work.
You brought? Wait, did you bring it back home?
Yeah, because I'm going to use it on the train this weekend.
With who?
Oh, you know Jeremiah's going on a train ride with me?
Dave.
I need my immersion satchel.
Who are you playing Gwent with? I want you to say it.
I'm using
I
the
want you to
satchel.
say it out loud.
I'm using the satchel, not the Gwent satchel.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Wow, you were betrayed.
Yeah. Are you playing Gwent with Jeremiah?
Would that be so wrong?
No.
All right.
Lies.
Well, I think we've pretty successfully transitioned into our main topic for this evening, which is, have gamers lost their sense of wonder? Let's not worry about those time codes, but I feel like if you guys are cool with it, I feel like the last 10 minutes of you guys' conversation really was about as natural of a transition into a main topic as you could hope for.
I mean, you need to give it an intro probably for the episode, so maybe do an intro and then we'll do the topic.
All right, and then we'll resume.
We'll redo.
I think it was a good warm up, really good warm up for the main topic. So this is Casual Shenanigans Gaming podcast, all about the irreverent love of gaming. I'm one of your hosts, Jeremiah. Tonight I'm joined by Joel.
Hey, friends.
And Dave.
And tonight we're focusing on that love part.
Focusing on love, Casual Shenanigans. And this is episode 188, which means episode 200 is coming up soon, and we have made no plans. So, hopping back into the main topic. Our topic for this evening is, has the gaming community lost its sense of wonder? And this was suggested by Dave, which makes sense because if you just listen to him talking for 10 minutes about the sense of wonder he had playing DayZ for the first time.
Yeah, if you want to log out, Jeremiah, for like an hour, me and Dave, we can just talk about that for a while.
That's true, because I don't care about stuff like that. That's true. That's a good point.
You don't really have happy feelings. Well, your tail feathers are never tickled.
You don't really have happy feelings.
He's too large for feelings.
How am I supposed to react to that, Joel? That's not going to make me happier.
Wait a second. That's it. It's all of us. We're sucking out the happiness from you.
Oh no, we're the happiness leeches.
We stole your tail feathers, so they will never be tickled again.
You're not using tail feathers right, man. Just let tail feathers go.
Okay.
Let me just lay out for you guys what inspired this topic, because it was something I was thinking about this week. Just playing some Battlefield 1 on my own. I'm like 270 hours now into the game in like multiplayer alone. So much fun. I love the game. And I was doing like a different class, I think maybe medic that I don't usually play, on a map I hadn't played like in a week or two. One of the ones that came with the game, I was just running around on like the ground at one of the capture points. I was looking around and I'm like, I haven't seen this part of the map in a long while. I'm like, man, this game looks really good. Like, I've been playing it for that many hours, and I'm still amazed. I'm just kind of standing there looking at it. I'm like, I'm having so much fun. Last round, I was like flying planes, having so much fun. I'm like, it's 2017. I paid $60 for this game, and it is glorious, and it's still amazing me many, many hours later. But you wouldn't know it sometimes, because as if you kind of like get a pulse on the community, they're like, you know, when's the next DLC coming out? This patch introduced this small bug. And sure, it's issues that are real. They do affect the game. But it really got me thinking, like, how many gamers out there pick up a new game, they try out the demo, or at a friend's house, or they just pre-order like you're not supposed to do, just blindly, and they hop in, and it's just immediately, oh, that animation isn't the best I've ever seen. Like, again, I'm not trying to whitewash or just cover up issues that games do have, but I really do wonder if, as a whole, gamers have kind of gotten a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for?
Jaded?
Thank you, jaded. And we're kind of missing some of the awesome experiences that are right in front of us, or we just rush through them and on to the next one so quickly that we don't really stop to look at the flowers. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I agree. Of course, as the unhappy member of the podcast, I guess be good that I jump in here. You know, being
you
super
need a
jaded.
Nintendo, man. You need a Nintendo. You need to play more Mario games.
I feel like I've played 10 Mario games, therefore I don't need to play the other 40 identical Mario games.
Well, there's the sadness right there. There's the sadness. No, sorry, go ahead.
Joel's version of sadness, anything other than unbridled joy at the smallest of life's happenings. Why are you sad?
That's true. Jeremiah is, in fact, the problem.
Man, I'm trying to pick on one of you and you guys just turn it around. I like that you guys are so happy. Anyway.
We just want you to be happy.
Thanks, man, by telling me things like, you're never happy. You don't enjoy anything with your big boy job. So anyway, I almost feel like a little guilty, like I'm part of the problem. So take the Potato Masher series. The actual goal of the series, originally, it was like just a fun challenge, okay? But then the goal of the series kind of morphed into, I think gaming is awesome. Specifically, I really enjoy and resonate with PC gaming. I play my consoles. I love my consoles. I have no problems with them, overall. But I really resonate with PC gaming and some of the custom, unique things about PC gaming. And I don't like that the common stigma about it is that it's super hard to get into. It's super expensive. Like, you have to pay an arm and a leg to get any sort of good experience. And what I try to do with the series is encourage people, hey, it's not that hard. You could totally do this. If you're interested and what's been holding you back is how hard it is or the money or whatever, it's not that bad. Give it a shot. And not only can you have a great experience, you might be able to have a better experience than you could on a console. And that is the intention that I always try to approach things with. But inevitably, some videos just boil down to, yeah, both games look great, but the texture filtering on the PC is a little higher, so screw the PS4 version. Like, throw it in a dumpster. But even if I don't say that at all, well, because I've tried to tone down like the partisanship a little bit in recent years, because I think too many people get the wrong idea. But even then, there'll be plenty of people in the comment section who are like, "Did you see that? The resolution's 5% higher. Why would any idiot play on the PS4? It doesn't even make sense."
Your average Alabama PC game.
Or there's the drive-by people who are like, oh yeah, but can PC play Horizon and Uncharted and Neo? And they just list off like 10, exclusives. And then somebody else will be like, no, but it can play Dawn of War 86 and Total War and everything else.
And cook cookies and stuff. You can get those little like ovens for a PC.
And then it turns into people like just comparing the differences all the time, where really what I wish the direction people would take is there's a lot of overlap. Like, really awesome games are available on every system. And usually if it's a really awesome game, it's really awesome on every system. And then you can, of course, break it down to, now, are there some advantages and disadvantages of one system over the other? Or are there any reasons why one system or the other might be better suited for your preferences or whatever? Sure. But really the takeaway should be, isn't it awesome that we have this awesome game that all these people get to play? Like, that's where I wish everybody would take it from is, hey, this is what's best for me. You play on whatever's best for you. Isn't it so cool we all get to play this game? Instead of like, my tribe's awesome, your tribe's stupid. Because there are so many games, like even some of the just average games that come out. Imagine if they'd come out 15 years ago, how much people would be peeing themselves. Like,
yeah.
I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn, if I'd gotten that game on my PS2, like, I would have been done. Just done. I mean, let's not even get to The Witcher 3, like the holy grail up here. Like, I've spent so much time playing San Andreas. Have you played San Andreas lately? Like, the physics suck. There's not that much to do. Combat kind of sucks. The aiming kind of sucks.
I never got to play it, so I bought it on PC, like, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago or something like that.
PC
I was like,
version
holy
was
crap.
not the best version.
Oh, man, it was rough to play. I never didn't get really far in it, but I always watched everyone play it on PS2, and it looked like a blast.
But yeah. So, think if we'd gotten even like some decent games that we have now. Think if we'd gotten them years ago, like how crazy that would have been, how amazing that would have been. Like, take Battlefield 1, it's a good example. Dave was talking about it. Think of how good the lighting looks. Like, how beautiful the lighting is. Then add in the atmospheric effects of all the dust blowing through and totally obscuring your vision and the deep oily smoke coming off a blown up tank, something like that. Then take all the care. Let me
close my eyes. Hold on. Keep going.
then take all the care that's been put into like the design of every button on the soldiers' outfits and the high-res texture scans and all that stuff, and every little like
maybe stop.
And every little jingling strap on the gun. Woo! And then put it into a massive map with like procedural destruction where a tank shoots a building next to you and the entire building containing people like erupts into this massive like shrapnel cloud, and there's smoke everywhere, and you see there's screaming and people flying through the air, and some dude's on fire. Take all the care and the detail and the insane amount of work that goes into that, and on their own, how beautiful or interesting each piece of that might be. And then have all the people screaming in the chat about the Virgin flying the plane, and why is our team a bunch of glue sniffers, and why can't people freaking get on the point? Get on the point! And like we all do it, you know? Like we all complain about that stuff from time to time, but man, if you stop and look at like each individual piece, holy crap, did a lot of care go into that game. Like,
Jeremiah,
Battlefield 2 by comparison.
You've got it.
I do. I like things. No, but
I feel like I just listened to
it, Peter.
I feel like I just listened to myself rant about Battlefield 1. That was perfect.
But I mean, like, so that's Battlefield 1. Like, that's a little bit easier.
And to sit on it for a second.
Yeah.
Looking at some recent comments on like Reddit and stuff like that, with some announcements of some upcoming like premium free maps and stuff like that. If you have the premium pass, that's one thing you can complain about, like free maps for premium pass only. But then like you go further into the thread and people are like, oh, I only played like 20 hours of Battlefield 1 because it didn't have enough guns and like there weren't enough unlocks. And I'm like, guys, is that really what you're chasing in a game now? Is that really what you care about? Like the guns that are there are really good and really fun. And there's plenty to play with. There's 4 different classes, plus vehicles and aircraft. Like, it's okay. Each class only has, like, 7 different guns. Oh, no. It's like 2006 again. How will you ever survive? I'm like, but you're playing a next-gen historical riff, riff on history, historical title. It's plays well. It's ran well since day one, and it's a lot of fun. Like, are you really going to get hung up on the fact that, like, Battlefield 1 has more unlocks? Because, sure, it does. There's 16 different 5.56 rifles. If you want to spend all your days unlocking, an unlock list, go for it. Man, I just really feel like a lot of people are missing the forest for the trees, for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting. I know something, whenever I play some of those games, if I'm ever in a match that's like overstacked, I usually don't care. Because like to me, like you get a lot of people that kind of want like, oh, it's overstacked. To me, I'm enjoying if I'm enjoying the game, I just don't care. Like that's totally fine. I think it's interesting because it's like it'd be so interesting if you could like literally be born in 2000 and then just see what it is like to play the games now.
Tyler, can we get Tyler on the podcast real quick?
Well, because obviously, like I grew up before the internet was like really like legit. You know what I mean? Like I've heard you had it on Ataris and things like that. Way back in the day. But I'm saying when it really became popular and people started having their homes, and so seeing that and the transition. I think I appreciated playing only having 2 NES games, and there was no online, there was no help. I never heard of even the word a review of a game until maybe 98, like Age of Empires, maybe. Yeah. That was like the first time I ever even thought about, oh, I should look at a review. I just go, oh, a Zelda game came out on Nintendo or Super NES. This is going to be fun. I never thought, gee, I wonder what people are thinking the game is going to be. You know what I mean? Because I think we never had that. It's a double-edged sword. There we go. Double-bladed.
Wait, that's sword. Just 2 swords, Joel. You just pulled out 2 swords.
They pulled apart. Double blade.
Darth Maul. Think Darth Maul.
Okay, there we go. Well, and again, like, I'm not trying to be an old fart, but I guess I am now. But, in one ways, I've kind of gotten annoyed by YouTube, or just the fact that we have technology at our fingertips. I think it's such a fantastic thing that we have that ability. But also, in a way, I don't think it helps that much all the time, especially, I think, with games. Because, growing up with games, again, didn't really hear about reviews. You didn't have any of that. Like, you couldn't hear whiny people yelling because you just didn't simply have that. You know what I mean? So I think given the opportunity, the people that are really happy with games don't go on forums or online or generally record videos going, hey, man, I'm having fun, because they're too busy enjoying it and they just don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There are tons of people that do it. But I think having your voice of going, I want other people to agree with me because I hate this thing or I'm going to be annoyed at that, or even kind of like a hive mind mentality. It's like, this is horrible, so oh yeah, I'll jump on it, because you don't want to be that odd personality that goes, oh, I actually really enjoy this game. I think it's fun, because everyone's just going to jump on you too. That happens. But yeah, it's depressing, because I think in a way, I mean, even for you guys' sake, I'm curious, what games have you played or done simply because, oh, you know what, I kind of want to, this is kind of popular right now, I might as well do a video for it, you know what I mean, outside of maybe getting a deal or you're able to make a little bit of money on something. But I think for some people, that has become a thing. It's like they just play something because they simply need to get it out there for something, And I think because you have that, you're getting a lot of people who are playing something that you really shouldn't have been playing that in the first place, because you're not someone really to review it, because it's not your thing. If you're playing it simply just for that, your review is going to generally be garbage. And that's why I think I was talking with Jeremiah not too long ago. I think we talked about something about VR related. I was laughing at this guy's review, and I was like, "This guy
professional reviews of VR
yeah, the
games
professional reviews on VR games." I'm just laughing because I'm like, they didn't press pause to look at the options. They didn't. It's like they probably played it for 5 minutes and they just spit out this review because they got to get out there first, Yeah. I'm like, actually, no, the game can do that. No, it has that option. Wait a second. So I think that ability to get, your feedback out there so fast without thinking through it very easily, you know what I mean? Because we have, even with PS4, you can hit a share button, bam, it's up, it's on Facebook, whatever, in a second, you know what I mean? Like, there's no editing, you just hit a clip and it's good. It's on Twitter, you know what I mean? So I think having that ability is really cool, but I think it also definitely dampens it, because unless it's just me getting old and me not liking new games, but I like a lot of these new games. I really do. It's just like, everywhere is just toxic all the time where you go places.
Yeah.
Okay, I was laughing because I was playing Battlegrounds the other night and I forgot I had the voice chat off, and there was someone I was playing duos with, so I turned it on for the plane ride in. Oh my gosh.
It's horrible.
I turned it on. It was just racial slurs constant. F your mom is on the plane. It was just like, screw you, bitch. It was just like, and I was like, mute. I was like, what in the world? I was like, holy crap.
And that's why, you just want to avoid those sections of the internet, because, like you said, most of the people who have something to say, they have something to say because they really like something or they really hate it, and the silent majority plays it, enjoys it, maybe they don't care that much, whatever, like, they play it, they move on. It's kind of interesting to hear some of the guys at work talk about games they're playing, because, like, part of me wants to hop into the conversation, but part of me just really enjoys listening, because I'm like, these guys, like, the group that normally talks about it, like, they're not, like, in the forums and following the news obsessively from day one. They're like, oh, cool, new Mass Effect game's coming out. And they buy the new Mass Effect game and they play it and they're like, yeah, the animations are kind of weird. Ha ha ha. I saw a joke about that on Reddit. And then, like, but I like the story. It's pretty good. Gameplay's pretty good. I'm having a good time. Like, yeah, it's pretty good. I'm enjoying it. Like, cool. Like, they're not soured by everything else that's happening on the internet around it, which is really great, because, like, unless a game's launch is incredibly smooth, which is rare, like, most games are going to launch decent, but it's the rare game that launches almost perfectly, Unless it's incredibly smooth, there's going to be people on the internet complaining and saying, this is the worst, I can't believe they do that, I can't believe they disrespect the consumer, and blah, 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 blah. Whereas most of the time it's like, hey, a team of 300 people put 4 years into making a massive open world with hundreds of quests, thousands of, like, lines of dialogue they carefully recorded, a custom score, and this beautifully animated world that you would have literally peed yourself over if you had it 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But you do make a really solid point that some of the animations are weird, so screw those guys. Like,
the whole thing is really...
How dare they?
They're Nazis for making this game. It's like, what the crap, man?
When I take my Blockbuster, Blockbuster's closed. When I take my working at Chipotle money and I go to throw down 60 bones on a new game, I expect perfection like I exert over every aspect of my life. Sorry, go ahead.
The Battlegrounds thing, Joel, reminded me when Battlegrounds first launched, I saw that PC Gamer posted like a beginner's guide that I checked out. Number 1 was, the control key to mute all chat in game is Control T. Use it and then never turn it back on. It was like number 1 on the how-to guide. Oh man.
Like, as you install, would you like to mute? It's already checked.
like graze it out forever. But Jeremiah, you just reminded me of another thing that inspired this topic. This week, a small YouTube channel did a 8K video of The Witcher 3. He has like a $7,000 PC, and apparently YouTube supports 8K 60 FPS.
Whoa.
On like beta accounts or something. I don't know how he accessed it, but he actually got it processed.
You have to have a $7,000 computer to watch the video too.
People were saying that like an overclocked i7 hyper-threaded, like, so that's 16 threads, was like at 100% CPU usage watching the video.
Oh my gosh.
But what caught my attention was, like, it popped up on my Google News on my phone, like, you showed interest in The Witcher 3, obviously. It's like, check this out. And I'm looking at this guy's video, and it's getting hundreds of thousands of views, and like all the blogs are doing like the reblogging thing where everyone has to post an article about this video. And I went to the comments on the video here in 2017 and laughed so hard because literally pages and pages of all the top comments are just freaking out. This is still the best looking PC game ever made. This changed my life. Nothing will ever look this good. Nothing has looked this good since it came out. Everyone else should be ashamed. CDPR is the final threshold of gaming graphics. And I'm like, hey, you guys remember when the game first launched and everyone's like, this game is like a 95 out of 100 RPG, but everyone focused for a couple of weeks on, is this game racist? Was this game downgraded in the graphics? And I'm like, it takes like a couple of years for the things to kind of settle, it seems like, for people just to sit back and be like, wow, that thing that we were all talking about and nitpicking at, that was actually just kind of nice. Like, that's a nice thing there. I still like that thing. I don't know. It's a shame, I think, that it sometimes takes some hindsight to come back around to that.
I don't know how you guys can handle even having comments on your videos. Like, I mean, like, I just...
Says the guy who posts troll videos where he unboxes iPhones.
Well, again, I remember that's really completely different. You know what I mean?
No, you're doing it ironically.
Because I have an expectation of what the comments are. So if they're hate, that's totally fine. But I'm just saying, like,
if they weren't hate, you wouldn't be happy.
Having
with
something
it.
You enjoy be put on there, and then just like, I mean, I don't even keep up with the comments there. I look like every once in a while. I don't have anything that notifies me whenever I get a comment. I get tons of them still on saying, "Hey, you do have a black MacBook." But, which is so great because it's like 10 years old now. It's like, hey man, they sell a black MacBook. I'm like, oh, thanks man. I'm going to buy one today. But
actually, I just saw this week that Apple officially, they don't support the plastic ones anymore. Like if you have a plastic one. Yeah.
Man, those are old.
Yeah.
Anyways, but just to change around for happiness, I think... I'm gonna read this comment I found. So yeah, Dave, was this at all inspired after I kept on sending you like dozens of DayZ videos? Because I was just in one of those moods. I was like, man, I really miss those couple early weeks we played. That it was just so much fun. We just were so all into it.
That was actually
that's why I'm playing again right now.
It just lined up perfectly though, because I already had this topic down.
Okay, cool.
And then we started reminiscing about DayZ the same week.
Well, I found a video. It was just called DayZ Mod First Impressions. It's by somebody named Sidestrafe. I don't know. But anyways, I was looking for one around 2012, right when it came out, right when the mod just like hit out of nowhere. And this one guy commented on his video, and it was really cool. And it reminded me of a lot of games I played with my brother, and just honestly the really good times playing with all of you guys when we were into DayZ, when we were super into DayZ, and it was just like, as soon as you get home, you're freaking on DayZ all night. That was just so much fun. I'll just read the comment. It was really good. This is going to sound weird for me to say about a video game, but this is more than just a mere video game. And I've played it from the mod to the less fun and only play for role-playing standalone, whatever. Me and my brother both started playing DayZ because of you, which is the YouTube guy, in June of 2012. I'm writing this comment because I almost have tears in my eyes because of the amazing times that me and my brother had one here. I'm 16 now and he's 23 and getting married, and we haven't played DayZ in more than 2 years. It is not because it is a video game, but looking back on this video 3 years after I first watched, and I can hear my brother say, I just downloaded this, want to watch me play? With the excitement in his voice. It just makes me want to go back to then. I know that I have a full life ahead, but so far that was the best time of my life, was playing this with him all the time. It brings back nostalgia to watch this. It makes me really sad to know that those times are done. Probably forever. I want to play the mod again, but the standalone the mod will never feel like this again. No more survival feel, you don't survive for zombies anymore, blah, blah, blah. The skies are not gray and it doesn't feel like an apocalypse. I doubt anyone will read this, but I'm just so sad that these times are gone and needed to get it out. It was how we bonded. I remember that
we like the game from, we play the game from like 3 p.m. until the sun came up the next morning, then sleeping in super late the next day and regretting it. This is the best memory I remember because of how much we bonded over it. Damn, the feels won't go away. But I thought it was just a cool comment because I was like, it's so cool how, you know, a game and stuff like that can do that. Because I mean, I've gotten all my life pretty much from various other people, you know, that never played games. They're always, you know, I used to always be looked down upon just playing games because you're the gamer, you know. And then even finding out after I got married, that's like, oh, you're playing games. It's like you're married. It's kind of like, well, I'm sorry that like your wife hates games, but me and my wife, we really enjoy playing games together and we talk, as opposed to you guys just watch a show and you're quiet the whole single time and never chat or anything. But I'm like, games can actually be really fun. You're both talking together, you're laughing together, having experiences together. You know, it can be a lot more than just sitting there silent for 2.5 hours watching a movie every night and then going, night, you know. But so I've like lived through all that. So I was just like, man, I remember just, those were such good times playing DayZ. And that's why I kind of jumped back to playing, because I was like, man, I'm curious to know if the game is still fun. And it was like, I haven't seen any hackers. I'm like, I'm going to keep playing it for again because it's actually a lot of fun. So
that guy gets it. He gets our topic tonight. He understands.
Well, I feel like we talk a lot about like DayZ as being, that sense of wonder, that sense of whatever else. But I feel like there have been also plenty of other games that were like that too, like Payday 2. That fire burned very briefly.
That was a solid weekend.
for me and my brothers, that one Friday night where we all screamed at each other for hours and had a great time was awesome. For me and my brothers, like when I was younger, it was first it was playing Age of Empires, of course, and then it was playing the old Medal of Honors on GameCube, the 4-player split screen Medal of Honor stuff. Then we got a little older, still playing Age of Empires. Then it was Smash. In college, Command & Conquer 3 Tiberium Wars, me and my roommate Chris and our friend Doug, every night when Doug got back from his work, he was a waiter. Every time when he got back from his night shift, he pretty much just walked right to our room, sat down, flicked on Commander Dell, and we played Tiberium Wars. Like, that was just it. That's how it worked. And then our last year, it was Battlefield 2. We got like half of everyone in our dorm playing Battlefield 2. And honestly, I enjoy playing Battlefield with you guys. Some of my favorite memories are playing Battlefield 2, though, with all the guys on the dorm, because it's a mixture of crappy laptops and really good computers and everybody yelling at each other. Yeah. And you could hear people like pounding on the ceiling, like when you killed them or something. It was a really awesome time. So like, what I'm saying is like you go through phases, you know. DayZ, I think, was a big phase for us. And I don't know if I'm speaking out of turn, but I would guess that it means a lot to us because that's, I think, where we all became really good friends, was playing DayZ.
Yeah.
Like, even if I knew Dave in college, but DayZ's how I met Joel, and a lot of other people. And
what about you, Joel? They say like DayZ is how you met Joel. It's kind of true. That's how you get to know him, which thankfully it wasn't all like pantsless Joel running around. Like, you know, you get to see all sides of Joel.
I had to do something to make the standalone version really fun.
But yeah, like, so like there's different phases. That's what I'm saying. So I have. For me, the next one after DayZ was GTA Online. When GTA Online came out, I mean, we played hundreds and hundreds of hours. Yeah. That's where like the greater casual shenanigans group as a whole that hangs out all the time. Like, that's how we really came together, was GTA Online. That and Arma. And like, I feel like Arma is kind of that now, where 20 years from now, let's assume the Arma group won't be happening. I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but 20 years from now, I'll probably look back on that really fondly too, as like, no, that was a group of like, started out as 5 people and grew to 10 to 15 people that showed up every single week to hang out and play games together and create stuff together, not just play something pre-existing, but create new scenarios and do new things together. Like, just think about how awesome that is, I don't know what the next one's
Didn't I join you guys for like the first night?
Well, you're about 150 nights too late. But
no. I wouldn't say I'm too late. I've totally enjoyed hearing you guys play it. But I think I joined the very first night. And I think the next time there was like 2 more people, and I think that's what I didn't play.
Well, I don't know if you remember, Joel, but before the game actually launched, me, you, Jeremiah, and Chris, we played a bunch of the beta. Like and Edgar too. Like, we played like 40 hours of the beta before the game even came out. But I'm glad you mentioned Arma, Jeremiah, because I was going to bring it up too. It reminds me of our DayZ experience, going back to that idea of like, I think our group definitely does a good job of kind of holding on to that sense of wonder. And we picked a couple of games where it's a little bit of extra work, like DayZ and Arma, to keep things going, to get the group organized, get everybody in the same game, the same server, to get a mission going. But it definitely adds some extra reward to the experience when everyone's working together to like make a unique experience. Because think about how many people who might love Arma, like if they got to play with our group or a group like our group with custom missions and all, like it could be the best gaming experience that they would ever have, but they're never going to have the chance to do that because it's like, you know, those first steps of, well, how do you get good at the game? How do you set up a server? How do you get a group together? Like there's stuff that has to happen ahead of time. Like we've got a really unique scenario for Arma, especially that it definitely, I think, adds a lot to it for us, where it's like sometimes you gotta step back and go like, wow, this is a really, really unique experience that not everyone will get to have. Like, in fact, most people won't, and that's really, really cool that we can experience that. It's good times. It's good times for sure.
And even if we can, like, you know, and there's dumb stuff about Arma, like, you know, the controls are kind of wonky and a lot of the animations are stupid and whatever else. But going back to that sense of wonder, this is like how many square miles? 40 square mile? I have no idea. Let's just say it's
320 square kilometers.
A 320 square kilometer open map, and that's just one of the maps that you can create these military, you know, simulations in, and pretty much whatever you want to do. Like, the world is your oyster. If it sucks, it's probably because you suck at it. If it's good, it's probably because you put a lot of extra time into it. Not only that, but the community all pitches in, and pretty much for free. It's like, hey, you know what would be awesome? What if we had these vehicles from like Desert Storm, and somebody's like, I'll make them and put them in? Or what if we had this new ability, this new thing we would add to the game? People make it and they just contribute it, not because they're trying to get money out of it, because they, like some of them do, but because they love the game and the community and they want to contribute to it. And like, even on the nights where it's wonky and everything else, we're playing like a crowdsourced adventure with a bunch of our friends,
completely unique,
over the internet with like crystal voice quality and less than a tenth of a second of lag, like with people in Alaska and Great Britain, like literally at the same time, and we're playing,
works.
And it basically more or less works. Like, that's freaking awesome. That's a far cry from the days where I was propping my PS2 and my 9-inch tube TV up on books on my bed so I could like play a little Gran Turismo 4, you know, like we've come a long way.
And you know, you just remind me of one more thing. I think my last thought for our topic tonight is, I think that's why I quote unquote get stuck on certain games and end up spending years going through different mods and deepening the experience and changing the experience in different ways, because after a game has kind of gone along its way and the gaming community as a whole has kind of moved on, like I've been doing some Fallout 4 mod reviews recently, and on every video there's one of the top comments that has like a handful of upvotes is always like, oh, people are still playing this in 2017. Like they always think they're hilarious. It's the same comment every time.
Yeah, like, why haven't you abandoned it and moved on to some different game?
And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, Fallout 4 for me right now is better than it's ever been, because the game is getting tons of updates anymore. The modding community is spending like 100 hours on these super textured custom gun mods with custom reload animations. Like, the amount of love and care going into some of the mods and the extended content for the game right now is mind-blowing. The settlement stuff, but people are making settlement additions for building and for Fallout 4 that are better quality than Bethesda's. Just flat out, better quality, done. And I'm like, that's the kind of community that I want to be a part of. Like, I want to be a definite part of that community, because that is just fantastic. Those are the people that do really love the game, and I do too. So I want to be a part of that. So I think that's why I definitely tend to get stuck on some of my favorite games with some mods, because it's like enjoying the last bit of the experience with other people who enjoy it as much as you do, or in some cases like Witcher 3, almost as much as I do.
That's cool. That's neat that you consider it that way. That's really cool. Like, I never would have thought of it that way. I would have thought, oh, I have a mod. I never would have thought, oh man, I'm enjoying this together with all of you. I'd be like, oh sweet, I just stole something you made. Thanks. I don't know. I just be like, sweet.
Here's an example, Joel. Remember the Somerville Sanctuary settlement from November, the one with like all the crazy tree houses and the fogs in the swamp?
Yeah.
One mod that made that possible, like it was the core of all the build, was a mod called Thematic and Practical. One of the best, I think probably the best settlement crafting mod for Fallout 4. Because the guy has spent like a year last year, and now he's added on to it now, not just taking Bethesda's work and like making some different furniture bits and stuff like that, but he's actually like creating new textures, new models, using bits of Bethesda's models to create these junky shacks and storefronts and bits of furniture made of like tires and old mattresses. And you look at that quality stuff. And again, his mod in particular, I said in our tour of that settlement, like, this is better than Bethesda's work. And I was like, without this mod and all the attention that he poured into it, I couldn't have put all this attention and work and detail into my settlement, because like all the love and attention that he put into his mod was the cornerstone for all of that. And I said it actually in the tour, and I was like, without his mod and like him having that high level of quality that I want to see in my stuff, this creation that I then made with all of it and additional mods would not have been possible. He actually saw that video, the creator.
That's cool.
And he commented on it, and he's like made my day. Like, this is the kind of stuff I love to see, is like people taking what I'm putting all this attention and care into and enjoying it just as much. And he's like, that's exactly what I make the stuff for, is for this kind of thing. So I think that's for me definitely why, for a game that I really, really enjoy, the modding definitely is like the last stage of like really getting into a game for me. Because it's like being part of a community that just loves what's already there and just wants to add to it.
Dave,
Cool.
Your passion, man.
No, I'm just all fired up about those uniform buttons Jeremiah was describing earlier. Woo!
Dave's just been trembling ever since.
That was a good topic.
It was. It's now time for What Are You Playing This Week? A part of the podcast where we talk about what are you playing this week. Now, we've been covering, a deeper topic, but I think I'm just going to bring it back down to the pettiness level. So me and Mark are playing Dead Space 3, which is not a game that we're enjoying that much, because the story does not make any sense, and the gameplay can be fun, or it can feel like you're just playing horror survival action game by the numbers. But, alright, so anyway, we're playing on PC. The game has a 30 FPS mandatory cap, as far as I can tell. I haven't been able to disable it. I just got a 1080 Ti. My 980 Ti could absolutely max the game out at 4K, like, without breaking a sweat. With my 1080 Ti, I can play the game at 8K at 4K or 8K super sampled to 4K, so 8K resolution, and 30 FPS stable, like really easily. And I was like, why not? And so I turned that on, and if you think 4K is sharp, 8K is very smooth. Like, you haven't seen no aliasing until you've seen 8K super sampled onto a 4K monitor. That is no aliasing. But yeah, that was just me being petty.
Smoother than your mum.
No, that's just me being petty. The game itself, it can be fun, but we're not sure how much longer we're going to play it. But we got it by like the Origin access things. You pay $5 a month, you have access to all those games. So I don't think it's a game we would have bought on our own, but having it there as an option is kind of nice. So also been playing some Battlegrounds, having fun. I was recording some Potato Masher stuff on Battlegrounds yesterday and ended up playing an entire match, as you do. I was able to get all the footage I needed in one match, and then I was down to like the last 25 people. So I was like,
I mean, you gotta finish the match at that point.
But have you guys been to the gun range, like in the middle of a field?
Yeah, I have seen that. That's really cool.
So I landed near it, and I was running around like recording footage, just running between trees and houses and whatever, and everything was going great. And then I like finished recording footage for a minute. I was like, okay, I'll wait a little bit, get a little farther along in the map, record some more. So I was like, all right, well, now what am I going to do? Well, I see a guy creeping along the grass and looks like he has a gun. So I go into a house next door and I find a M16. So I got the M16 and get some ammo. I load it up. I go outside and I kind of walk out into the field. I'm not playing that seriously. Like, I'm just having fun. So I'm not really worried about dying. I assume somebody's going to pick me off out of nowhere. So I'm just standing there in the field and just watching the guy like creep along the fence. He hasn't seen me, so I'm like lazily stalking him. I'm wandering along next to him as well, it's not a fence, it's a wall. He's creeping along the wall right next to the gun range. And then all of a sudden I hear the thudunk right at my feet. Somebody's just thrown a flash grenade and it goes off. And I turn around and this guy with no weapons is sprinting right towards me with his fists up like he's going to knock me out. So I just pull my gun and go, toot, like wipe him out. He drops to the ground right in front of me. I'm like, oh crap. Now the guy knows where I am. I whirl around. The other guy has disappeared, of course. So I don't want to stand out in the open. I run up to the wall and I like tuck up against the wall. And then of course I third person look. I don't see him. Like, well, he had to have gone through that gap in the wall up there. So I start just creeping up the wall nice and slow. And I look around. All right, nobody else. Creeping up the wall. And then I see him move a little bit. He has a shotgun, and he's creeping back along the wall. We were both third person watching each other. And so he's creeping back past the opening, and I'm creeping towards the opening. And we both get to where if we move just a little bit, we're in each other's range. And we both just wait there for a couple seconds, just kind of looking. Third person looking over the wall. And then both of us move forward at the same time. And I just lean out and just... like 2 shots, hip fire, nail him right in the face, kill him from like 20 feet away. It felt really good. And then I got a gun and I ended up like, I made it to the last 5 people. And then it gets like at the end, you know, where like it's at the top of a hill and it's closing in around you and you all eventually just have to run into the middle and there's nowhere to hide. And it's pretty much a game of luck at that point. Like, who are you going to see first? So I got down to the last 5 people. It was pretty fun.
That's awesome.
I was actually playing it on the potato masher, so I had like the keyboard up on the top of my desk and the mouse down on the side, and I'm turning to the side
like
watching
misery.
watching the side monitor. Yeah, but I wasn't even thinking about it because I was like, I'm gonna get him. So I've also been playing a little.
It's not like Eggert. He like uses. Have you seen it? He has his keyboard like this way with one hand and his mouse like this. It's
no
the
way.
Weirdest. No, yeah, he does. Yeah, it's so weird. He holds his mouse sideways and moves it like this.
I mean, I can't argue with his results.
It's so bizarre.
Guess whatever works for him makes sense.
Yes. Freaking Brazilians.
Freaking Brazilians.
Their mouse techniques.
Well, I really wonder. We should
Don't share it with us.
Did that come from like limited desk space in like Counter-Strike cafes? Like, I wonder. Like, seriously. I really wonder because he played Counter-Strike in internet cafes in Brazil.
Yeah, that's true. I need to. That's
gotcha.
I've also been playing a little bit of Abzu. I'm probably not going to beat it, but I got to do a video on it. But it's also kind of like nice and relaxing. I think maybe I'll play it.
It's only like maybe 4 hours tops.
Well, I'm thinking it seems like a good game to like listen to an audiobook or something and then just cruise around and do it. Like, I don't think I would enjoy playing it just on its own because it's not quite enough game for me. It was kind of like Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. It wasn't quite enough game to keep me there. But playing it is nice and relaxing, and it's really
the music's
pretty.
Really
seeing,
nice and stuff.
Yeah, it's really pretty seeing everything underneath it. So it seems like a good podcast game. I've also been playing some Drop Shot in Rocket League, the new Drop Shot mode we played last weekend.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Man, that is a vulgar game mode. That brings the salt out in people in a really fun way, though. It's another one of those modes, like, I don't think I would play a ton of it. Like, at the end of the day, core Rocket League is the really fun thing, but it's kind of like Snow Day, that it's a really fun 1 or 2 evenings trying it out. And Drop Shot's kind of like that. It makes it really easy to, like, screw over your friends and everybody be yelling at each other and stuff. So it's not as balanced as regular Rocket League, but it was a fun little diversion. So that's what I've been playing. What have you been playing, Dave?
Let me look at my list here, because it's been quite a bit actually this week. Got a review code for Expeditions Viking, a turn-based, hex-based combat RPG. Lots of text and old-school like dialogue options. I was showing Jeremiah some today. I'm joking in my Let's Play of it, I'm a few episodes in, that it's becoming like Storytime Vikings, because there's so much text to read, but it's really, really well done. And I'm actually enjoying the hex-based combat just because it's totally different from anything else I've been playing recently. And I guess it's about time that I actually learn a little bit about actual Viking culture, I guess. See, I have the randomly picked Viking name. I've been editing a couple of Arma mission videos recently and working on a couple of upcoming missions and looking at the video footage. Man, 64-bit and the last couple of patches for Arma, the game is in like the best state that I think it's ever been in. Like, I was looking at some footage for a Shenanigans video from like 6 months ago, and it, it's fun, but like the FPS is all over the place and it's extra glitches. And I look at footage from the last few missions and I'm like, this is a lot easier to edit. It just looks better. Everything just going a lot smoother. So I'm excited to dive in, crank out submissions a bit faster.
I'm shocked that the 64-bit update like went that smoothly, because I just assumed Arma was going to be destroyed. But we haven't updated any mods other than like Ace, right?
Not even Ace for 64-bit. We just rolled with it. Yeah. Maybe TFAR, the radio mod.
Yeah, I think we updated one or two things, but yeah, like it's crazy how well they did compared to how buggy the game used to be. Like, I mean, considering Arma 2 has a campaign that can just break and you'll never be able to finish it, like...
yeah. You know, I've looked at recently at a couple of, like, old Arma videos from just, like, 2 years ago, and it's wild to see how much has been improved. Like, you know, bipod support's only been here for a couple of years. 64-bit with the higher frame rates, the new terrains, the new complete sound system, like, the game is a whole different beast from where it was just a couple of years ago, and it's so much fun right now. It's just fantastic. Been of course playing a bunch of Battlefield. Like, Joel's been out this week, so I've been playing like a round for lunch a couple days this week, and it's just like I could play at lunchtime and then go home at the end of the day and be like, what do I do tonight? Battlefield. Like, I love the game. It's just awesome. Can't wait for more DLC and some new maps dropping in June. And I've been playing a little bit of Battlegrounds, but it's funny. I love the game, playing with you guys. I just have zero interest in playing on my own. I haven't yet. I might not ever. I'd have never launched it without you guys. I just don't care.
That's fine. I mean, I like playing with you guys too. Like, I'm good with that.
Yeah, Edgar like plays and like studies the game. He studies the blade, whereas I'm just.
It just makes me think of that airsoft image you sent me. It was like, we may not go to war, or what?
Like, we may not fight in the battlegrounds of Iraq and Afghanistan. We have fought in the woods of our hometowns for our freedoms. We have struggled just like the rest of the heroes. It was terrible. It was like, I think this is satire, but you know, someone's probably like seen this satire and then like printed it out on his wall or something. Anyway, that's what I've been playing.
Well, I've been playing Battlegrounds, a ton of it. I've been playing a ton of Mario Kart and Zelda and Wildlands. I think I got 47 hours in Battlegrounds already. I'm loving it. It's really good. I think it's one of the best multiplayer games I've played in a long time. Yeah, having a blast. I've actually played the most of solos so far. Solos and duos. I think that's where the fun's at.
Well, for you, Joel, that's not surprising. Like, if you could actually play a game with like -1 players somehow, you'd probably pick that. Like you're just like, you know, like a void. Like you can't even hear yourself. Just total void and game.
You know, it's funny. It's interesting. It's interesting how you play so much Battlefield on your own. Because to me, I find it absolutely boring as crap playing that game on my own, because nothing is meaningful to me in the game. Like, because it's just all just points and crap and like. But I think for me, like, I can play something like Battlegrounds on my own because it like really feels meaningful if I actually make it really far. But like Battlefield's like on my own. I mean, I guess it is different. Like if you really are into vehicles, because vehicles just have a much higher spread of kill ratio. You know, if you're good at it, you know what I mean. Like you can do a lot more damage with that as opposed to just a single person on the ground. Like I'm pretty good in tanks too. But to me, it's kind of like when the game ends, it's kind of like, okay, I kind of won, but I didn't really win. I might have gotten, 15, 20 kills, and then that was it. It's just interesting that you like that. It's because, like, to me, I've really enjoyed Battlegrounds, not because the graphics or any of that, because it's kind of crappy, but like I just really enjoy the fact that the shooting is so satisfying, and it's incredibly hard, and like if you do make it far, it like feels really worthwhile. That's interesting.
Well, just on the note of Battlefield real quick, one thing that keeps me going playing on my own is that for the Battlefield series as like a whole, I'm a jack of all trades. Like I love every single thing in the game. I'm better at like scout class and vehicles and like maybe support compared to like assault and medic. But a lot of times when I'm playing on my own, I'll be doing classes that like I don't usually play when I'm with you guys. So with you guys, I might be a squad leader as a scout, or like if no one else is in the planes, I almost feel obligated to like be the pilot, because like if we're getting slammed by planes, I'm like, well, I'm good at planes, I should probably do something about it. Or, you know, if you're in a tank, I'm going to be the support guy repairing you. So a lot of times playing on my own, I'll do stuff like, oh, I'm going to be a medic. I'm not super great at it, but I can make a difference just playing on my own, just being a medic for my squad, just chasing them around. And that's probably what keeps the game fresh for me, especially, is that I do literally every last thing in the game, like every sub vehicle class. And especially for the vehicles, you don't get them very often. So if I'm changing which type of vehicle I'm playing as, like every time I get one, it's like a completely different game pretty frequently. There's so much to do.
That's cool. I mean, because literally every time I ever played with you, I love it. Like, I love the game when I'm playing with you. Like, it's a really good game. But because I mean, like, I love Call of Duty, but I never play any online ever on my own. Even back when I played it, a crap ton of it just when it first came out, like Call of Duty 1 and 2. I played a ton, but I never played multiplayer ever alone. I mean, ever. It's just funny. It's funny. I just find most multiplayer, even like Rocket League, I don't play it on my own. Ever. I've always like only like playing duos or 3 or 4s or whatever. Yeah. But playing on my own, like I find I don't know, it's not really fun at all, because it's kind of like, yay, I won. Because like to me, it's winning with your friends, you know. But Battlegrounds for some reason is like, yeah, I got it, you know, because
I'm the champion.
Yeah, because I think it's a much harder game, but.
And then you have people like John, who gets Titanfall, and he's like, is anybody around? No one's around. 100 hours. Go. Done. He's like hiding.
Close.
Just like
shut the game.
Like real quick, while no one's paying attention, I'm gonna play all I'm ever gonna play. No one's gonna join me, and I'm gonna throw it away. It's like a sprint to like cram as many hours as possible. And then we're like, hey, we should play some Titanfall. And John's like, oh, done. I'm out. Anyway,
but I am recording more footage for Wildlands to make an epic review when I finally beat it. I'm now in this really cool desert area, loving the game. Just it's my go-to game of just relaxing. Honestly, I just love it. I really enjoy collecting things. It's kind of like Joy playing her Lego games, where she selects a list to collect things. I really enjoy it because the game's not overabundant with collectibles. Like all the little medic stuff, you don't have to collect that to like have like an achievement or whatever, you know. I just like finding the weapons, going to various places, and blah blah blah. So yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, for me that was always like GTA 3 or 4 or 5. Like I always keep one of them installed, because if I want a game to just mess around in for like an hour and just relax, that's what I always go to. And I think
you still haven't beaten GTA single player. It's funny because you are all about multiplayer. Like single player campaigns, you could just toss them out the window, outside of maybe Witcher 3 maybe.
It's not true. It's certain games.
It's very, very specific games.
It's certain games have a distracting multiplayer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's basically it.
All right, it's now time for the news.
News time.
Oh, there it is.
So, Microsoft is making a dumb version of Windows 10 called Windows 10S that can only install or run applications through the Windows Store. And they're releasing that on their new, what's the name of those new computers they're making? They're releasing like these new cheaper Surface Book, these $1,000 Surface Book things that are essentially MacBook Airs.
That's a cheaper Surface Book? I thought they were around like $1,200.
Well, they start maybe around there and go up, but like the nice Surface Books, not Surface tablets, the Surface Book laptops are like MacBook Pros.
Okay, you're not. Are you talking about the ones that? Huh. Oh, okay, those. Okay, sorry. I'm thinking those.
You're thinking
like
the Surface tablets.
Yeah. That's. I was like, holy crap! I was like, I thought they already were $1,400. I'm like, let's shrink it down by $100. Gotcha.
No. I'm talking.
I
about
forgot
like
they came out with that. Yeah, those actually looked really cool.
Yeah, the high-end laptop. So they're releasing like a cheaper version, thinner, whatever else. Sure. But Windows 10S is not replacing regular Windows. It's not aimed at gaming. It's designed for educational PCs. It's a cheaper version of Windows that schools can install, and it won't be able to run like a bunch of crappy, questionable programs or anything. It'll only be able to run things from the Windows Store, which I guess makes sense in a certain, like, in certain scenarios, that does seem like a really good idea, and having a much cheaper licensing fee, okay, that makes a lot of sense. The Windows Store sucks. and the Universal Windows program thing isn't there yet. Like Win32's framework has been around for years and years and years, and yeah, people exploit it, but it's also what most programs run in. So
yeah.
What kind of makes sense about this is the versions of these little cheaper Surface Books that people are making that are going to start at like $190. Like Dell and I think LG and a few other people are making essentially Chromebooks. And here's where I think it makes sense. Like a Windows version of a Chromebook that's just internet based. It's a couple $100, good build quality, tons of battery life. It's internet based. Like that all makes a lot of sense. $1,000 for one, like I have no idea why anyone would ever do that. Just buy an $1,000 Ultrabook and be done with it. But I mean, I thought that was interesting. I think it's a stupid move. I don't think they're going to sell that many, and then they're going to complain about it when it doesn't work. But Dave, what's your news item?
Short one first off. The PC Gaming Show is back, hosted by PC Gamer. Surprise, surprise, for E3 this year. Joel, we should go to that because we're going to be at E3 this year.
Oh, yeah.
Joel, our business cards came in.
Ooh.
You are officially a podcast camera operator. Congratulations. This year's show is going to be hosted by Intel, featuring Bohemia Interactive, Tripwire, CY Games, and Nexon. Don't know those last two. But yeah, we should go to that one. That should be fun.
If it's not like 6 hours.
Wasn't
one of theirs like 4 hours?
The first one was like 4 hours.
Man.
Second one was like 2 hours.
Yeah, the second one was a lot better. Man, that first one, that was a long session. Because it always felt like, you're used to like each one being about an hour long, maybe an hour and a half, and it was just like, okay, they're gonna have a reveal or something. It's like the 2 hour mark. I'm like, oh, okay, they're just still doing interviews. Okay, got it.
But I'll give them credit though. They were like, this is gonna be different from a regular press conference where it's all flash and everything. They're like, no, we're doing like actual interviews, bringing actual developers out. Like we're doing it for real. Yeah. But it's like, yeah, there also needs to be a little bit of showmanship though. Like we don't need a 10-minute discussion about every game. Yeah, like you gotta mix it up a little bit. Like I like a little more. I didn't really like the Sony. I liked the Sony press conference last year, but I didn't like that it was just like game, and it wasn't like, when's it releasing? Sometime in the future, coming out later, a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. Look at this trailer. Look at this short gameplay clip. I was like, I guess this is all cool at some point, but like that doesn't give me a lot to work with now. Like 2 of those games were coming out that year. And the PC Gamer Show felt a lot more like, hey, here's stuff that's being
it wasn't
made
like it was
now.
more of like a full day conference as opposed to a keynote. That was
exactly
the difference.
Like, yeah.
I think for being around E3, they need to make it more keynote like, and then have a separate day where they have a long session or something. All right.
I got one more short one here. This is just in some lighter news, kind of funny. A guy bought a box of just like Blizzard stuff off of eBay, just like cool collectibles. And in the bottom of the box, he found a disc in a CDR case, an actual golden disc with the Blizzard logo on it, and a label that said Starcraft Gold Master Source Code. And he posted a photo online. He's like, this can't actually be like the source code to the original Starcraft, right? Well, Blizzard sent him an email and said, actually, that appears to be a real gold master disc with all the source code for the game. We really appreciate it if you would send that back to us because that's like intellectual property and, someone can reverse engineer the entire game. And sure, it's the original StarCraft, but like that's like all the source code. And so he sent it back to him and they sent him a whole bunch of stuff as a thank you for doing the right thing. Sent him like $250 of Blizzard store credit, a whole bunch of like keyboards and mice and all kinds of cool Razer stuff, bunch of Blizzard merch, and then also he's getting an all expenses paid trip to BlizzCon, is that right?
Nice.
The Blizzard conference, and all the StarCraft devs are taking him out for drinks, which is kind of cool. Like that's worth like it'd be really cool to have the golden disc, the actual one, but doing the right thing and having a cool story is definitely the way to go.
Now I'm curious, Dave, like the source code, like can you not look at the source code like when you have the game? Or like how does that what does that look like? What does the source code look like? Like how would that be any different than like owning the game and looking at the code of it if you're like a developer and
let me try to explain it in a way that the best I can without being a developer. Basically, the source code is all the ingredients laid out clearly where you can see and change things. the version of the game that everyone else is playing is after it's already been compiled and can no longer be reverse engineered easily, like and picked apart piece by piece.
Okay.
So basically, someone could take that source code and copy whatever parts of it they wanted to, change whatever they wanted, see how everything works together, and so you can kind of see maybe if there could be parts of StarCraft 2 that still use part of the original source code. So you never know.
Is it almost like I'm trying to understand? Is it almost like if I were to like hand out a hard drive, all my Norman footage, everything, like all the timelines, project files, music, extra files, but then when you have the final movie, you just only have just the single tracks of stuff, and you can't edit it. You know what I mean? You can clip it up, but you won't have any extra tail end on any footage or to mess around with it. Huh?
That's it. That's basically it.
I've always been curious. Cause like, isn't the source code like? Isn't that what you play? And I was like, okay, that makes sense. I learned something today.
That was a good example, Joel, and it didn't even involve cars.
I think we stole a little bit more happiness away.
It actually wasn't a Jeremiah joke.
I don't have any!
Into the void.
It actually wasn't a Jeremiah joke because Joel has dropped some car analogies before, but it also works as a Jeremiah joke, so I'll just leave it nice and vague.
All right.
My news is Battlegrounds has now shipped or sold 2 million, or they have 2 million sales already.
Too many sales.
Yeah, too many sales. I had a hard time saying that. They've sold 2 million copies, but I put it down. I forget where it was, but that's a really crazy feat because I was actually looking at backward DayZ, and I thought DayZ sold more, but DayZ sold 2 million in 4.5 months. Mm-hmm. This game is really selling well. That's a crap ton of games, because that's like in less than half the time. You know, I mean, it might not have a tail. You know, that it might not last as long as who knows, but still, that is crazy. So
very surprised. Impressive.
Yeah, and then I think the last other thing I had. This is just downer. This just pissed me off. I'm not going to add it on this year's E3 list. Definitely not. I'm just angry.
We'll see. We don't want to break tradition here.
I mean, like, the second another huge legit rumor comes out, and legit
huge,
you're like, legit, I'm ready to be back on the train on the tiniest morsel of information, but for now, it's definitely never gonna happen.
Right now, never. I could give a shit about them. Yeah. So all of the Half-Life writers now have officially left Valve. So all the main three of the three guys that worked on Half-Life, Half-Life 2, all the the DLCs and stuff like that, they're all gone. So it's just kind of like, I mean, again, not that they could never do another Half-Life game or series. And again, Gabe Newell said they were working on something to do with the Half-Life universe. So who knows what will happen. But in a way,
I have a guess what will happen. Nothing.
Yeah.
Because episode 3 was supposed to come out a year after episode 2. Here we are, like a decade later, almost a decade later.
It's just it just frustrates me a little bit because it's sad, because that's kind of like one of the final links of the chain that was like, those guys were connected to Half-Life 2 with that storyline that I would love to see an ending of that story. And so it's almost one of those things where I'm like, I guess in my perspective, I mean, put in a different perspective, is if Witcher 3, if the guy who wrote, or the person who wrote Witcher 3 or all the Witchers, all of a sudden he just leaves and they're going to do another Witcher game, but they have a totally different guy. And it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, hopefully the guy knows the material, or it's almost like, I mean, I don't know, like books, you have like a posthumous or post, how do you say it? Like when someone dies and they have someone else.
Posthumous.
Posthumous. There we go.
Yeah.
I whenever I see that word, it just makes me think of hummus, and so I can't get that out of my head. But like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just not the same. Like, I read a Michael Crichton book, and it was, he had a manuscript for it, but it was never finished. And I was like, this is not a good book at all. Like, it just didn't sound at all like Michael Crichton, So it's like, it's just not the same. So it's almost one of those where like, sure, I'd be excited about it, but like, like I really wanted Gabe and those guys who made the other game to be together on it and make it. I just would they would freaking make anything. How in the freaking hell have they not made any other games?
You know what they make now?
Money.
Money.
They make Counter-Strike skins.
Again, it's easy to be judgy, but if I was making billions of dollars, I'd probably be like...
But I'd also feel really sad for you if your life just turned into just I make money and you don't do anything else with it. You know what I mean? Like if you lose your passion because you have so much money.
But from their perspective, maybe they are really passionate about the stuff they're currently working on now. Like maybe they really like building this massive esports stuff and developing this massive store and whatever. Like,
well, you certainly don't hear about it though. That's the thing. Back when they were making the other games, you definitely heard them talking a lot about the games and a lot about stuff. Like, you know, like there's like no articles about, you know, Gabe or any of them talking about stuff. It's always about, you know, like, you know, this is going the wayside and then nothing else. It's not, you don't really hear much about it. So who knows? It'd be very interesting to see what actually happens to Valve down the road. You know, if like it's just literally only Steam and that's it, you know, or if like you have more people leave and it becomes this, I don't know. I can imagine, I don't know why they left, but I'd be curious to see if they left because it's like, well, what the crap are we going to be writing about? You know what I mean? Like we have nothing to do. Like is nothing ever going to come out? So my only hope is that they somehow finished the manuscript for Half-Life 3 and they're like, okay, now we're going to retire. But no.
But that's a reach. That's a little bit of a reach right there.
That's a lot of maybes and what ifs. That's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, I know.
But
that held me together. That held me together since 2005 when Revenge of the Sith came out, and I knew that was going to be the last Star Wars. But when there was a slight rumor of a Clone Wars TV show coming out, thinking, ooh, maybe this could be just a little bit more Star Wars, just a little bit more to just go on. And then there was even more rumors. Yes, I held on to the thinnest, the tiniest scrap of hope that there could be more Star Wars. And guess what happened, guys? There's going to be Star Wars for the rest of my life.
But then there'll be some Star Wars that you don't see.
It's Star Wars being made by mostly new people now too, and not really using any of the original writers.
That was actually hard. That was actually hard to take for a while.
It was, but kind of aren't you glad? Like getting some new blood into Star Wars, like
definitely. I'm really excited about Rian Johnson, his take on Star Wars. I think it's going to be really cool. But oh yeah, I mean, heck yeah, I would take the worst of all the Star Wars and still enjoy it.
What if, Joel, what if they finished the Half-Life 3 script, but Gabe had to throw it out of the safe to make room for the giant CSGO skin lawsuit stack of paperwork? He's like, what is this garbage? Why are we still holding on to this, guys? Anybody need some toilet paper? Whoosh.
Someone commented it, and I was like, holy crap. He's like, do you guys remember when Valve like was really all about like innovating new games and stuff like that? They're like, now Valve is known for skins you can buy, but guess what? They're not all reusable. Like they have a certain amount of uses for spray paints, apparently in Counter-Strike. I was like, what? There's spray paints that you can pay and you can only use them a certain amount of times? I was like, are you kidding me? Like I played Half-Life 1. You just spray on a wall. It was like a stupid happy face or whatever, you know, and then some people would put random crass stuff on there. But I'm like, now you have to pay for that? What? Everybody, just please do this. Go out to your nearest... Actually, you won't be able to get one, but wait out till midnight. Buy a freaking Nintendo Switch. Play Nintendo games. Or just get an NES. You get an old, crappy NES. Play a happy game that's not connected online, doesn't have DLC. Your life will be so happy. Just don't play Contra. Don't play Contra.
Someone sounds like an old fart right now. You're like, kids these days, you don't understand. Buy yourself a Nintendo. Buy a Mario game. Doesn't matter which one. Same basic premise.
You know, and I'm totally fine with that because now I'm starting to understand because when I was a kid and I hated all the old farts saying that, now I'm going, man, I should have listened to them.
Basically,
and now I'm listening.
You like being an old fart. John is relishing becoming an old fart. Like, he loves
that's
it.
why me and John, we can play any game together. It doesn't matter what. We just have a hoot of a time.
You're old.
We've already discussed many times of owning an old ranch house and sitting out on like little rocking chairs, just drinking sweet tea and lemonade and a little shotgun beside us, you know, and then just like scaring away the postman or something like that. Just
fire each other's assless chaps. Just bro stuff on the porch. On the note of where has our wonder gone and bitterness in the gaming community, would not have expected Joel to be waxing poetic about Nintendo 6 months ago. I mean, we were sure like they had no idea what they were doing.
Yeah, I know. Nintendo Switch is the real deal, man.
Speaking of the real deal, it's time for Joel to go dig into those real deal comment sections and.
Oh no, that was a DayZ one. That was a DayZ one. But I will discuss the video I recorded, Dave. That I'm pissed that Jeremiah immediately viewed it.
Joel, again.
No, but I will say this. I never watched a video you guys ever put in a CSG folder without going, hey, what's this for?
But
never.
as the podcast main host and producer,
dear leader,
I generally try to
you know when I put videos there, you usually test like the first second of it, which I'm totally fine with, just to see,
Joel,
just check it.
You didn't tell me. All you would have to do is do what you normally do.
All you had to do is, hey, Joel, this looks like it's you on it. Hey, is this for something? No,
all
you watched the
you
whole
had
thing,
to do is
then
be like,
you
hey,
said something.
I've got a video for tonight. Don't watch it. I would have said, okay. Instead, you uploaded it.
How many times have I done that before of saying, I'm putting a video in there, don't watch it?
Quite a few times.
I just assumed you'd figure that.
And you didn't say anything this time, so I assumed that's not what you were doing.
He's like the kid getting away with that one little thing like, well, Mommy, you didn't say I couldn't have the chocolate tonight. Well, Dave, so I recorded the car right before I got home. I recorded a Car Tips 101 about how to pull the e-brake. Oh, it was supposed to be a surprise, so we could both laugh at you and steal more of your happiness, but that's all right.
What would you laugh? What were you going to laugh about me about?
Well, Dave told me a story about you keeping an e-brake on for some reason. So yeah, I was gonna rib you on that because
I've got a soft spot in my brakes,
Mr. Car Man. I have never once has ever happened to me, and so I just maybe laugh with happiness a little bit.
Yeah, Jeremiah definitely burned up my e-brake a bit trying out the 4Runner, and I had way too much fun as we were going to see a museum that day, ribbing him for the rest of the day. My personal favorite rib of the day, though. This is your rib of the day. We were in the museum, and like we just left the automotive section. It was like a transportation deal. And I was looking at a display. I was like, "Oh, dude, Jeremiah, check out this awesome like cutaway. You gotta check out this diagram here. This is like super well done." And he like scurried over, like, "Oh, what'd you find?" And he comes over. There's a giant plaque that says, "How a train's e-brake system works." It was like a cutaway. He just glared. I was like, "Dude, you should check this out."
Jeremiah, look into your camera. We love you, man.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
you make us like this. You make us do it.
We all make mistakes. I mean, I haven't made that mistake particularly, but we all make mistakes.
And that one was pretty public too, to be honest. Because my uncle is a mechanic. Let's just go ahead and get this story out there. Let's just go all in.
Yeah. Go. Let's go on.
Because it was we were driving down the highway. Jeremiah was.
This is really eating at him. Are you okay, man? Are you okay? Oh, he's pissed.
No, I'm not. Go ahead.
Jeremiah was driving my 4Runner, and we kept hearing this like super loud ticking noise at speed. Couldn't figure out what it was. My uncle is a mechanic, and he's got a shop nearby. We were about to head on a trip to the museum, so I called my uncle and said, "Hey, are you at your garage?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm actually there right now. Can you take a look and see if you can figure out what this sound is?" So he's there at the garage. We pull up. I've told him all about Jeremiah before because Jeremiah's helped me fix some problems last year with the Civic where like some cables had come loose, the check engine light came on, and we fixed those and saved me like a few $100. But we pull up to my uncle's garage and we all get out of the car, and I introduced Jeremiah like, "Hey, Uncle Junior, this is my friend Jeremiah. He's my car guy. I'm always telling you about." Like, I introduced him as my car guy. So they're both like looking under the back of the truck and they can't see anything wrong. So I go back and get my code reader. They come back around, still making the ticking noise. We can't figure it out. Jeremiah's looking really worried because he's been driving it around for like 15 minutes now. Of course, like he gets in and there's a problem. And then he looks at me and he's like, I wonder. And he reaches over with his foot and like you see like hear like the creaking sound, like the truck shifts a bit. It's like I left the e-brake halfway on. I was like, "Jeremiah, I introduced you as my car guy. You betrayed that trust." Because right after that, like literally 30 seconds later, my uncle calls my phone and he goes, "Hey, did you guys figure it out?" And I was like, "Yeah, Jeremiah left the parking brake on." He laughs. He goes, "Yep, that'll do it." Oh man.
Now, can I defend myself at all, or is this Or would you think it would
All right,
sully
guys,
the story?
thanks for coming out this week. It's been a great podcast.
If you think it would sully the story, I don't have to.
Wait, there's a defense to this?
There is actually a slight
is.
defense.
Slight defense.
My defense is, so Dave's having like a sensor problem or something in the truck. It's a minor thing, but because this sensor isn't reading correctly or it's throwing an error code, all his check engine lights on, his traction control lights on, like a bunch of warning lights are all on. It doesn't mean the car's falling apart. It means it's trying to scare you into getting the issue taken care of. So this is my first time. I'd requested actually to drive Dave's vehicle because I'm trying to find something more comfortable. So this is my first time driving it. I hopped in, and so I was just getting everything set, doing whatever, and I go to take off, and all the warning lights are on, and I pop it in drive, and it starts idling forward. So I just didn't think to check the parking brake, because on a truck, you know, it's got the step brake that's all the way down, like you push all the way down. It wasn't all the way down, and since it rolled forward so easily, I just didn't even think, I didn't even think to check the parking brake. And because the parking brake light was definitely on, I looked at it, I was like, that's weird that one comes on. But it didn't act like there was anything wrong with it. Like, it drove totally fine.
There's no smell either.
No smell, no nothing. So it never occurred to me. And then I was sitting in the driveway and I was looking at the height of the pedal and I was like, it's been a while since I drove a truck. That looks a little low. And the light is on. Maybe I should just double check, because I've had it happen before too, where like you let down the regular parking brake and you leave it like one click up. So it's really not doing anything other than dragging just a tiny bit and it makes some noise or something. So I thought, I wonder if it's that. And that was totally it. So
what you're saying is I need to have another car video that says, if you see warning lights, double check everything first. Because that's what I do when in a car. And again, something like this might even happen more to, I think, people that know cars better, because if you think, in a way, it's kind of actually practical, because it's kind of like when you know something so well, you're not having to go through the standard check that maybe someone who doesn't understand what's going on. You just kind of go, oh, this gives me a light. I'm going to do that.
You start thinking about the complicated things and you ignore the simple, stupid.
Yeah, exactly. Because me, like, I've never left the e-brake up like halfway ever. It's always up. Like every single time, and soon and it's down. Like I have like this like ritual I do every time to just double check, because like I know I can easily get distracted in other ways. So like as soon as I get in a car, like I do that. I don't think I've ever actually looked at the lights to see, the e-brake's on, because I always pull it up, push it down. I do the same kind of thing. And even with Dave's truck, my bad. He let me drive it, and I knew to check for the e-brake even though it wasn't over there. I was like, it's kind of that one.
And Joel's so small too. He like in the driver's seat, he's like, all right, got the e-brake, and I swear he like climbed under the dash to find it. Like, he's just like gone. Also, like, there it is. I hear it turn off. He just pops back up. He looks so small in the seat. But yeah, I should have given you like a tour of the light show that was going on.
Well, again, to be fair, I'm sure you assumed like, well, Jeremiah doesn't need a tutorial on how the vehicle works. Like he'll figure it out, Just like I wouldn't hand Joel a camera and be like, all right, Joel, do you know how to use cameras? Like, you just assume Joel knows how to use the camera, so, yeah.
But yeah, man, I just love
between a legit
uncle,
car man and a regular car man.
You're going to get a lot of mileage out of that one. It's okay.
unlike a lot of mileage out of my brakes, because they're shot now.
They are not. I offered to replace them immediately.
They squealed again today.
It was raining today.
Before the rain started.
Oh, okay.
This morning, they squealed again. There's definitely a soft spot in them still. So, guys, if I die in a horrible vehicle accident, you know who to go after first. My car guy, Jeremiah.
Pro car guy.
It's because of me you didn't buy that rusty one. Because of me.
This is also true. The one where the dog had chewed the sunroof loose and it was hanging down. I'm like, I could probably fix that. And Jeremiah's just like, no. It's covered in rust. Also, a dog chewed it. No.
Remember, we got the Carfax. So I was like, it's covered in rust. Oh, it's from Vermont. Walk away. Walk away. They're sending it down south to retire. All right. Anyway, I think we've wasted enough of our.
I like that. What that accent? That was good. That was a good sound.
What?
That wasn't
Jersey
Vermont
voice?
That was Jersey. That was
Yeah,
Sitting down south to retire.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not like amazing, but it's good.
It's not a great voice at all. Apparently, the voices I have my normal actual redneck voice I grew up with.
Don't do the one you did from like that.
Okay,
that
so
literally scared me on my drive. I was just like, I looked around, I was like, what was that sound? Because it didn't sound like you at all. It just sounded like Beelzebub. It's like, what the crap was that? It was really surprising. I mean, you definitely got into character of whatever the demon that possessed you for the minute you were doing that.
Beelzebub speaks this week on Casual Shenanigans podcast.
So anyway,
I guess we gotta wrap this train up.
Thanks for coming out, everybody. It's been real.
You guys want to do a quick little game tonight?
I don't know. What does that mean? Oh no, Dave and I are doing Total War. We're recording Total War.
Cool.
Well, I offered. If you don't want to, we don't have to.
Let's go off the air and we'll talk about it, car guy.
All right.
He's a car guy with a big boy job now. I'm sorry. We love you so much, but this rarely happens. So we gotta take advantage of it. It's our fiduciary duty.
Jeremiah, Jeremiah, it's not fair because you're like a never-ending stream of responsible decisions. Hey guys, I paid off all my student loans. I bought a car. Oh, pay that off too. Look guys, I'm saving for retirement. When you screw up the e-brakes, we gotta sit on that for a while.
Yeah, that's right. Preach it, brother.
It's only there.
Don't worry, Jeremiah. When we retire and we're poor and living in the ghetto on the government checks,
I don't want you to do that.
You can call us from your mansion and be like, "Remember when I was your car guy?"
I've got nothing left in me. I'm empty.
You should have some shame in there somewhere.
Rattling around amongst the emptiness.
Oh no, it's not rattling. It's seeping out now. The whole world can see it now.
Oh, okay.
All right. If you didn't know, this is Casual Shenanigans Gaming, a podcast all about the irreverent love of gaming. You can catch us live Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on youtube.com/casualshenanigans, unless you're listening to this like on iTunes, in which case you can catch us after the fact on iTunes or YouTube or Stitcher or whatever. You know what it is. You already know what it is.
And have you announced that we're actually filming a CSG thing?
Yeah.
Like this month?
Yep, we're filming a Casual
cool.
Shenanigans original this month. That's right, this month. So
21 days.
21 days.
I got some signs to make.
Yes, you do.
But yeah. And send us in what you'd like us to do on the 200th episodes. I've actually already been starting working on ideas. Because I'm the one that I'm like the party planner of this Casual Shenanigans. Because I have planned the 50th, 100th, 120th, 50th. Yeah, whatever. I've done all of them. I don't mind. I've headed them up. I was
going to say, I feel like you're maybe...
Because what parts have you guys done on those? You've helped with them. You've helped with them.
I've done all the responsible adult parts.
What were the responsible... Like, you ran it, but I was like, I came up with the questions. I usually come up with the games, which is totally fine. I like doing that. I take it off your guys' plates. I take it off your plate.
Joel, you're
stealing the food off your plate. No,
you're the party planning guy, and if you keep it up, you might be the new car guy soon too. I hear there's an opening.
No, that is a job meant for professionals. That's why I go to a car mechanic place.
To a car mechanic place.
It's a place.
Like a car mechanic.
It's a place full of car mechanics. They're just roaming around. You just kind of like catch one with a net.
Set the record straight, Jeremiah. The Forerunner is going to a doctor's visit on Monday.
Nice.
Checked out finally.
Nice.
Better not be the catalytic converter, I swear. I swear.
I don't think it is. I don't think.
No. Okay, thank you, car guy. Thank you.
Anyway, we're also on Facebook. We have a website. Keep it up, and episode 200 is going to be episode 200. One last ride.
Unless the e-brake's on, in case it'll be a short one.
Freaking DayZ needs to come out so we can actually like if we're gonna ever end this, I think we should end it when DayZ releases. We got to do a big bang and end it.
We gotta do a Big Bang and end it.
Like
That's phrased really poorly. We gotta do a Big Bang.
Man,
We gotta have a
I mean,
Big
if there was
Bang.
ever time to go out, that would probably be the perfect time, I think.
All right, cool.
A blaze of glory.
But
much like
we've got
DayZ's Steam
easily
rating.
3 more years.
Oh man.
All right, y'all. Take it easy. And until next time, and as always, and forever in perpetuity,
Check your parking brake.
kill yourself. Slap a seal.
Bye.